right. So have you ever had that feeling where you're like, yeah, I get
No.
English.
Yeah.
I can watch a movie without subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of hum along to most songs.
Mm-hmm.
But like the second you have to actually speak, it's like
Yeah.
deer in headlights, like completely frozen.
It's so common. It's like this weird disconnect. You build up all this passive knowledge and then bam.
Totally. And that's
Yeah.
what we're diving into today.
Yeah, let's break it down.
It's like, how do we take all that, passive understanding, all that input, and turn it into output?
Exactly,
Yeah,
because you have the foundation, you've put in the work, so it's about bridging that gap.
big time. And one thing that really jumped out from the stuff we've been looking at is how important it is to just acknowledge how far you've already come.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's so easy to get caught up in like what you can't do yet.
Right. It's that classic language learner trap. You focus on the mistakes, on what you still need to learn.
Totally. But like
Yeah.
if you can follow a movie plot or understand a song, like
Yeah.
that's not nothing.
It's huge, actually. Your brain is processing so much, even when you don't realize it. Think of it like you're building this massive vocabulary library in your head.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, like
Yeah.
a mental sound library. And then it's about accessing that library when you need to speak.
Exactly. And the more you expose yourself to the language, the bigger that library gets.
Okay, so we're building up our library, we're acknowledging the progress, but there's still that fear factor.
Oh, the fear is real.
Right, like how do we actually deal with that feeling of like, I'm going to mess up, I'm going to sound stupid?
Well, the interesting thing is you kind of don't, the sources we've been looking at, they actually encourage you to kind of lean into the fear a bit.
Really?
Yeah, because that nervousness, that's a sign that you're pushing yourself, that you're actually learning and growing.
So it's like that feeling you get when you try anything new for the first time.
Exactly, like starting a new job or giving a presentation. It's normal to feel those butterflies.
Okay, so don't run from the fear, but what do we do with it?
Well, one super practical thing they suggest is just talking to yourself in English.
Like out loud.
Yeah, just have conversations with yourself. Describe your day, plan out your to-do list, even practice pretend phone calls.
I don't know, that sounds a little crazy.
It might feel weird at first, but think of it as a judgment-free zone, your
Yeah.
own little English practice bubble. No one's listening, so you can make all the mistakes you want.
I guess that makes sense. You're not worried about an audience just getting comfortable with the sounds.
Exactly, and it helps build up that muscle memory for speaking, getting your brain used to forming sentences.
Okay, so we're talking to ourselves, we're getting braver.
Yeah.
What's the next step?
Well, the next level is actually recording yourself speaking.
Oh man, that's even scarier.
I know, right? But hear me out. It's super helpful because it gives you this objective perspective on your own speech.
So like you can hear those little hesitations of the places where your pronunciation could be clear.
Exactly. And it's amazing to look back at older recordings and see how much you've improved.
Yeah, like proof that you're actually making progress.
Mhm. And remember, the goal here isn't to sound like a perfect native speaker right away.
Of course not.
It's about getting your thoughts out there, communicating clearly, even if you make a few mistakes.
Right, because even native speakers don't speak perfectly all the time.
Exactly. They say, all the time.
So true. Okay, so we're recording ourselves, we're getting more comfortable, but eventually we have to actually talk to other people.
Yes. The big leagues talking to actual native speakers.
I think that's the part that scares people the most.
It's definitely a hurdle, but the encouraging thing is most native English speakers are really supportive of language learners.
They are.
Yeah, think about it from their perspective. If someone was trying to learn your native language, you'd be impressed, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'd probably try to help them out.
Exactly. So don't be afraid to strike up conversations. Ask for help if you need it.
And there are even apps for that, right?
Oh, yeah, tons of them, like HelloTalk and Tandem. You can connect with native speakers all over the world and practice speaking in a relaxed environment.
That's awesome. So you're basically creating this global community of language learners.
Yeah, and it takes the pressure off because everyone's there to learn and support each other.
I love that. Okay, so we're talking to ourselves, we're recording ourselves, we're talking to other people, and then like the ultimate goal for a lot of people is to actually travel to an English-speaking country.
Oh, yeah, full immersion. That's like the fast track to fluency.
But what if you can't just hop on a plane tomorrow?
Well, there are ways to create that immersion experience right at home.
Like how?
Well, think about it. We're surrounded by English all the time. Watch movies and TV shows without subtitles, listen to podcasts, read English books, even just switch your phone's language settings to English.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, just little changes like that can make a big difference.
It's like building your own little English bubble.
Exactly. And it's amazing how much you pick up just from consistent exposure.
Your brain is constantly absorbing and making connections even when you don't realize it.
Okay, so we're immersing ourselves as much as possible, But there's still this idea that we need to use fancy vocabulary to sound fluent.
Oh, that's a myth.
It is.
Yeah, seriously, think about how native speakers talk in everyday conversations. They're not using big, complicated words all the time.
Yeah, they're just trying to communicate their thoughts clearly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So focus on using the vocabulary you already know. Practice making short, clear sentences. And don't be afraid to ask for clarification if you need it.
So it's more about being understood than sounding impressive.
Exactly. And, another thing that people get hung up on is their accent.
Oh, yeah, like feeling self-conscious about not sounding like a native speaker.
But honestly, your accent is part of what makes you unique. It's a sign that you've learned another language, which is awesome.
It's like a badge of honor.
Totally.
That's
So
right.
embrace it. Focus on clear pronunciation. And don't worry too much about sounding exactly like someone from London or New York.
Yeah, because there are so many different accents, even within English-speaking countries.
That's true. And, the main thing is to be understood and to feel confident expressing yourself.
And one last thing that the sources really emphasize is the importance of tracking your progress.
Oh, yeah, that's key.
Because it's so easy to get discouraged if you don't feel like you're improving fast enough.
But if you keep a little journal or make notes of your conversations, you can actually see how far you've come.
Yeah, and it's not just about the big milestones. It's about celebrating those little wins, too.
Exactly, like ordering food in English or having a short conversation with a stranger. Those are all victories.
So give yourself credit for those moments, because they all add up.
They really do, and they help build that confidence, which is essential for fluency.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, just remember, you can absolutely become a confident English speaker.
You've got this.
Every word you speak, every conversation you have is a step in the right direction.
Embrace those moments of fear and those mistakes, because that's how you learn and grow.
And think about one small thing you can do today to practice.
Could be anything. Record yourself, talking to yourself, try out one of those language exchange apps, or just make an effort to use English in a real-life situation.
Whatever it is, just take that first step and keep moving forward. You've got this.
Absolutely.
And that's it for this deep dive into the world of speaking English. We'll catch you next time.
See ya.